I'm here with William Intriligator. He is the musical director and conductor for the Dubuque Symphony Orchestra, and we are on stage. We're about an hour away from the next concert, and we've got a little bit of time with you, William, and thanks so much for having us in.
Thank you for doing this, Nathan. It's great to be with you and your viewers.
Yeah, so, the Dubuque Symphony Orchestra, it's been around a little bit for a long time now. Tell me a little bit about the history.
The history is really interesting. It actually goes back to over 100 years ago. There was the beginnings of a Dubuque Symphony Orchestra in around 1903. And it was called like the Dubuque Civic Symphony for a long time. Around World War II, a lot of the members of the orchestra couldn't keep it going. They were busy, or maybe they were serving overseas. So it kind of disbanded, and then it came back in its current organizational form in 1958. And so in 2008, we celebrated our 50th anniversary as this incorporation of the Dubuque Symphony. And now we're well over our 60th year. But it goes back over 100 years. There was just a gap there in the 40s, and then it came back in the 50s. So.
Well, that's incredible. I mean, music, is such a big part of this town, and it's great that we have an organization like this. So tell me a little bit, how long have you been a part of DSO?
Yeah, I actually started in 2000. So this is my 21st year.
Jeez.
Yeah, and
wow.
Actually, it's pretty cool that, in 62 or 3 seasons of the Dubuque Symphony Orchestra since we came back after World War II, there have only been 3 music directors. I'm one of 3. Yeah, so we've had long-serving music directors, which says a lot about this community too. The community, as you said, really embraces the arts and supports the orchestra well, and we've been very lucky. I think a lot of other orchestras like our size have sort of a revolving door of music directors, and there's not that sort of, commitment to the community that we have here. And I know I speak, I think, similarly for my predecessors, Nick Palmer and Parviz Mahmood, that we want to leave something as a legacy, and we want to be here for a while and establish something.
Yeah. So. Tell me a little bit about the makeup, of the orchestra. What size are we talking here?
Well, our traditional orchestra core of musicians is about 55 musicians. And of those, I would say only a handful really live and work in the Dubuque area. We do attract a lot from Madison and Chicago. Iowa City is another place where we get a lot from as well, and Coralville. And those musicians, we don't always use all of them. Sometimes we need less, sometimes we need more. It just depends on the music that we perform. If we perform Mozart, we might call for a smaller sized orchestra, some of the earlier music from before the times that orchestras got bigger. And if we perform something like a Mahler symphony or Shostakovich, we might need to add more substitute players. We don't always have all of our regular players because they play in so many other orchestras. And what many people may not realize is that the members of the Dubuque Symphony Orchestra are professional musicians. They have to audition through a very competitive audition process to be in the orchestra, and it's a paid job. But what most of them do is actually perform with us one weekend, and then Orchestra Iowa another weekend, and the Madison Symphony the next weekend. And so we coordinate our schedules with these other orchestras with whom we share musicians.
Oh yeah, it's a real have cello will travel situation, and
exactly.
Because it is incredible, difficult music. It's not something that some people who played in band in high school, they're going to look at this music and they're going to just there's no way that they can keep up. So these are really top tier professional musicians.
They are, yeah. We're very fortunate, and when people come to hear the Dubuque Symphony Orchestra for the first time, maybe having come from bigger cities, they kind of think, oh, well, this will be kind of amateurish. And then they're always really surprised at the level of professionalism and the artistic excellence of the orchestra.
Oh, certainly. So as music director, tell me a little bit about, your strategy or your philosophy. What are you really into? When you build a concert series, what are you looking to do?
Well, I want our audiences to really connect with the music. I like to have some music that's familiar, and really all music that I think that the audience is going to really enjoy. And so even if there's something that's unfamiliar with them, I want it to be something that I think they'll appreciate. It really helps to have guest artists. We oftentimes feature certain soloists. Sometimes it's one, or sometimes it's a group of soloists. And so that always helps, and the audience really loves those kinds of times where we feature, incredible virtuosity at the front of the stage as a solo with the orchestra accompanying. The other thing is that, there's this incredible wealth of just incredible masterpieces of music to perform. when we have our normal classic series of five pairs of concerts a year, that's so few concerts to perform such incredible masterpieces from, the time of Bach to contemporary music. And so it's hard to find a balance, but I do try to find a balance. I tend to favor a lot of the German composers, the American composers, some of the Russian composers. I love, Mozart and Gershwin and Shostakovich, Beethoven. I'm obsessed with Beethoven. So audiences have seen a lot of those things. But then I also feel a really strong commitment to our regional artists here. So if we have composers who are maybe even young composers growing up here in high school or college age, I feel like we should be promoting their music. Or performers who grew up here, they can come back and perform as soloists with the orchestra. And so I feel like we owe it to our region here, to the Dubuque area, the tri-states, to promote the musicians who are coming up through the soil, if you will, here.
Yeah, I'm all about local flavor, so being able to highlight, local things in the area, that's always something I'm really happy with. And, we are currently in the Five Flags Theater, the Majestic Five Flags Theater. And, but, this is where you live, but you guys do so much other community outreach, and you're not just, stuck in this one building, in this one space.
Right. Several years ago, the board of the Dubuque Symphony Orchestra decided that it would be better to maybe reach more audiences by exploring different concert venues. And so we've performed really, literally all over the tri-states area. Currently, we're in a sort of a pattern where we perform our main concerts here at Five Flags Theater, our classics and our holiday concerts, that is. Our family concerts are also here, but then we perform at the Diamond Joe Casino. Our ultimate rock hits and ultimate country hits are very popular.
It's a lot of fun, too.
So much fun for all of us. And then we perform at the Arboretum with the Summer Melodies concert. But like you've said, we've performed in so many other venues. I mean, even unusual venues like at Voices from the Warehouse. And that's another thing that I'm really committed to, is partnering with other organizations. Sometimes we'll go to Voices and perform there because of our commitment to support that art, and that arts organization. We partner regularly with the Heartland Ballet, the Dubuque Chorale, and we have so many other partners in the academic community, education community, and the arts community. We're very lucky in that way.
Yeah, the arts is alive and well in this little river town that we have here. William, I really appreciate your time. It's such wonderful music, and how you were able to bring a group of people from all corners of the region, bring them here and fill this space with beautiful sounds is absolutely wonderful.
Thank you, Nathan. It's a pleasure to get to do what I do. I love what I do. I'm so fortunate to get to work with an amazing organization, from the musicians on stage to the staff to the board and our league volunteers. We have an incredible organization here, and I'm just one part of it, and it's really a team effort.